Growing up, I didn't really have the best home life. I'm someone who grew up with yelling, shouting, name calling, you name it. And as I got older, I start to understand my own trauma a little bit more so that I could become a better person. And I start to realize that this vicious cycle of violence, this generational trauma, it ends with you. It is better to be alone, to have self-respect, to have boundaries, to have that own solitude, and to really work on yourself as a human being before entering a relationship so you don't end up hurting your future generation or the person you're with or the people around you. I think it's really simple, and it goes without saying that it's important to not pass on those certain things, but to really detach yourself from what you grew up with, the most traumatic things, the most hurtful things that have ever been told to you, and the things that you experience. It's not easy. I think that you don't have to be a perfect person when entering a relationship, but I think that you should have a firm basis to not hold on to those toxic tendencies, those things that may hold you back in a relationship. And everyone has their own traumas for the reason why they are the way they are, but I think it's important to have a clear mind and to understand where you really stand so that you don't end up hurting another person or ruining a relationship, because that is something with me I was so deprived of. I was so deprived of support, attention, and I was this really anxiously attached person. But yeah, I was so overwhelming. I just wanted that love, that the feeling to be seen and heard, that I ended up doing more bad than good in the first place. I realized that the way I was really narcissistic. And though I may have not been a full narcissist because I have this emotional baseline of empathy, I realized that I need to stop blaming. I need to be accountable. I need to not do what I hated the most growing up. I couldn't turn cold-hearted. I really sat down with myself and I asked myself, who do I want to be emotionally? I think about parenthood all the time as a 20-year-old now, and I always think, how will I be when I have a family, or if I even have one? How do I act? What do I do? What do I avoid? And that in itself, I realized that I just need to act accordingly to how my morals align with me. Just lead with good intentions, just to be kind, just to be a person of love. I can search for love everywhere. I can try to find love in so many different spots and endeavors in life, but yet it always comes back to me in that I'm the person of love. I'm the person that I should be loving rather than everyone else externally. I shouldn't be always trying to find love in the spots that really don't do me any justice. I can look for all these different people and convince myself, oh, what's love and everything, but I really have to go within and realizing that there is no question that can be answered externally that we have not found within. I think that we know everything. We know all the motivation. We know all the things that would transcend our lives. I think everyone tells themselves, oh, I just need to change. I know what I need to do. I fall in these epiphanies. I know it's bad for me, and yet no one really takes strides to becoming a better person. And I have a lot of videos on change, but I think a lot of people realize that their change, their version of change isn't sustainable. And to act according to the person, to break that vicious cycle, you have to focus on a key thing emotionally. To become emotionally intelligent, you can't just try to erase everybody that you are. If you erase every component of who you were, you would not be you. I firmly believe that you have to, no matter where you are as a human being, as a person, you have to be honest with yourself, how you've hurt people, the person you are, the person you've been, and you have to go from there. You cannot expect to be that amazing person, to be a person of love, person deserving of what you want in life, without understanding, well, where am I? Where am I to begin with? And you have to work from there, because if you hold all these bad habits, these tendencies, these attachment style issues, and the way you communicate, you can't fix it all at once. I think that everyone would agree that it's not sustainable. And I start to think of it in a way, I think everyone understands breaking a vice or addiction and trying to cold turkey and just stop completely is just the easiest way to fail. But when it comes to communication style and trying to do everything at once, it has the same effects. I'm no neuroscience person, and I'm not that deep into psychology yet, but I would assume that has this similar effect, right? That when you go cold turkey on yourself emotionally and you tell yourself you're not going to say a certain thing, you're not going to have the certain pattern, that you're going to fail in the exact same way, and it even might come back a little bit harder. I think in change to become an emotionally intelligent person, you have to focus on a few key things when it comes to emotional intelligence. There is no emotional intelligence without being intelligent about the things that you need to improve upon. And what I mean by that is that focus on the key principles. Don't make excuses. Be accountable, and don't confuse it with self-loathing. I think the more that we realize that we are the common denominator, the issues and our problems, is when we can really look at it and say, what did we do wrong? We can use those skills we've developed, those skills, right? The ones where we can ask ourselves questions, we can question the whys, because we've developed these skills. We've watched Journal with A so much that I'm kidding, but we've gone through so much of life where we can tread carefully and ask ourselves, where do we go wrong, and learn from your mistakes and everything. So learning from every single aspect in that regard is, I'm also using the snowball mic, so let me know if people, or if you guys like it, but I'm just using it for my YouTube videos. I think it's good. But yeah, I think that change, it just is when you do one to two things and you make it pretty, you make it sustainable. Because when you change and you force yourself to change in a certain adaptation that you want to go in, it's going to be uncomfortable. You change over time, your frontal lobe develops. Well, when you force change, it's going to be a lot more difficult. So don't make it so hard on yourself that if you don't live up to your expectations, that you get down even further. That's not emotionally intelligent. To be emotionally intelligent is to be secure, at peace with yourself, and to not beat yourself up over things. And it's whatever you make of it. If you've watched this far, thank you so much. And I'll see you in the next video.